morning. Welcome to the Alpine Church of Spiritual Living. We're going to read the thought for the week today. You can join me as I get at the bottom. Thanksgiving is upon us, a time to reflect over the many blessings we have been given this past year. Some of us may see 2021 with a mixture of blessings and challenges, times we would rather not have experienced. Life may have thrown us a curveball here and there, but our task is to keep on keeping on and to look for the good that might be hidden under our initial sight. I'm reminded of the verse from Philippians 4:8. Finally, brethren, whatsoever things are true, whatsoever things are honest, whatsoever things are just, whatsoever things are pure, whatsoever things are lovely, whatsoever things are of good report, if there be any virtue and if there be any praise, think on these things. Let these words of wisdom be our guide, for we are always at choice as to where we focus our attention. For it is a spiritual law that what we focus on increases. Many times it's the little things in life that give us the greatest satisfaction. Start each day and end each day with an open heart filled with wonder and joy. One of my favorite Bible verses is Psalms 118:24. This is the day the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. Each day is new with an open-ended potentiality. You are the captain of your ship. No one can make you think and feel a certain way. Decide to let go of pettiness and selfish egotism and pride. Open your heart to simply be in the awareness of the presence of the divine, which is ever within and around you. Feel the innate connection between all living things and beings. Say with me, my mind and heart are open wide to see and accept the many blessings life continually brings to me. As I give of my best, I am free to receive the very best from life. Thank you, Mother, Father, God, for my abundant blessings. I am ever so grateful, and it is so. Thank you. Well, did you all enjoy a Thanksgiving feast? Are you still eating leftovers?
Even without power.
And even without power, yes, we got some wind here the other day. By the way, I want to remind you at the end of service, there's a whole box of avocados over here that I picked up from the ground that blew the loose ones off the tree, so help yourself before you leave here today. So as we gather here today on this last Sunday in November, we are celebrating Thanksgiving, we're celebrating praise and being grateful, an attitude of gratitude. I know this is the official beginning of the holidays, and it's been interesting being locked up in my house for 10 days with the COVID lockdown. And it's amazing how lovely it is to be able to just not have to do anything. Nowhere to go. To read, to watch a lot of football, to be grateful, literally, for my health and for the antibodies that people are getting now after they get this COVID, because what a difference that had made in my restoration and recovery. So I really appreciate that. And I think this is the first year that I've gotten so many Christmas presents wrapped ahead of time. I'm one of those that wait until Christmas Eve, you know. Oh, well, yeah, I got that present wrapped. Yeah, I got that present. I bought the present. I brought the present. I brought the present. But wrapping them, it's just a whirlwind, usually at the frenzy of end for me. And I'm like, yes, I got time to wrap my presents. And so I hope maybe that'll inspire me to do this more frequently. Not the COVID, but to get the wrapping done earlier. So I think before we start off on this path of the holidays and all the activities and all the things that we get to do, I want us to stop and really take note to really allow ourselves to recognize what this life is about. And that means every single moment of this life that we are living. Because we are living in the eternal now. That is really where the existence is. As I turned my calendar on the Louise Hay page today, it said, "There is a perfect home for me and I accept it now." And I thought, well, that's a perfect one for me because there is a perfect home. I'm living in it. And I accept it and I feel so blessed by having this home. I had an old friend stop by a few weeks ago, and she hadn't been to my home. And she came by to just drop off some books she was getting rid of. And she says, "Oh my gosh, this is just wonderful." She said, "You are so blessed to be in this house." And I thought, everything happens by divine right consciousness. In my studies of becoming a minister, you had to write some papers. And one of my thesis was, "Wherever I go, there I am." And what we're talking about is wherever this consciousness is, that is within me, that's where I am. That's where I live. That's what responds to me in life, and I respond to it. So I want us to recognize this morning that we are not living individual lives. We might have different names. We might have different ways that we look. But I tell you what, we are living one life, and that is the life of God. It is the life of the eternal that never ends, has no beginning, it has no end. It is life eternal. And when we can go within and really recognize that, honor that, accept that this life that I am living right now is the life of God, is the life of the infinite. And yes, sometimes we get stuck. Sometimes we get stymied. Sometimes we forget how wonderful this life really is. And I want you to just stop and remember that this is a beautiful, beautiful life of God, the infinite. I have a friend that loves to take pictures, and she does an amazing job. And she was there at our son's life celebration and just took some fabulous pictures of the people that were there. And I was commenting to her about how wonderful these photographs are. And she told me, she says, "I believe it's all about the eyes." She says that she loves connecting with the people and with the eyes that she's seeing in front of her. And she says, "I think it makes all the difference in the world." They say that the eyes are the soul of our soul, that our eyes are our soul, the windows of our soul, and they see us. And as we look out from these eyes of love, that's what we will see in return. When we look out from these eyes of acceptance, of gratitude, that's what we will receive back in return. When we see beauty, that's what we will live in, is beauty. I want you to look out today from the eyes of your soul and see what it is that life is bestowing upon you, that is the blessing for you. Joel Goldsmith talks about our life, this little parentheses in time, he calls it, of this lifespan. And when we can go beyond this personal self, this individual ego, we enlarge our territory. We enlarge our life experience. Joel said, if you and I believe that we are expressing love, we are holding ourselves inside the parentheses. It's talking about we, the individual self. We are holding ourselves inside the parentheses, inside this one individual life. If, on the other hand, we see that love is expressing itself, life is manifesting and forming itself, and consciousness is unfolding and disclosing itself in infinite form and variety, we are lifted out of the parentheses and moved into eternity. Eternity never ends. Eternity has no past. Eternity has no future. Eternity is the continuous now. So we are, yes, experiencing this Thanksgiving weekend, but we are experiencing it by a world that is governed by God, that is governed by law. That we have the privilege and the honor of being this vessel, of being this vehicle, of being the one that is able to express and allow this beauty to come forth from us. And so in every moment, in every breath, why don't we say thank you? Why don't we say yes? Thank you so much for trusting me, for letting me be this example, this person of my intuition, of my knowing, which is the God self living through me, consciously thanking God the moment we get up out of bed, the moment we place our heads down on the pillow again, to thank God for what a fabulous life this is. You can say to yourself, God made this day, perfected it in decree and decreed its activity. His will is done in me today. Of my own self, I am nothing. There is a spirit within me that does the work. There is a presence, there is a power. I am a beholder of the invisible presence and power at work. I watch how it goes before me and witnesses the miracles it performs. Do you feel the nuance? Do you feel the difference in just stepping aside that egoic self and feeling the largeness of the territory of this God self moving through you? And why don't we do it intermittently throughout the day? Not just when we rise, not just when we lie our head on the pillow at night, but when intermittently throughout the day, one or two brief little, this is good. Life is good. I see life. I see God. I see the essence and energy of love through every eye that I come across this day. For I see that self, that capital S self, everywhere present. Not just in people, in things, and I get to be dog sitting this last week. So Bailey has been in our home, and what a grand thing that is. But she gets to go back to her mommy on Tuesday. I was talking to a neighbor, I was walking, and the neighbor says, hey, yeah, you got a dog now. That's new. I said, well, no, it's just temporary. Well, you ought to get a dog. I've had how many people I see these people shaking their heads. You ought to get a dog. I said, well, I'm not quite sure about that. But when we can look at every living thing, every animal, every tree, every flower, and know that within it is this invisible life force that is coming through it, perfectly, beautifully, individually, uniquely, through it. And we can just bask in that knowledge of how grand life is. Paramahansa Yogananda stated, by the practice of meditation, you will find that you are carrying within your heart a portable paradise. Think about that. Would you like to live in paradise? Wouldn't that be a fun place to be? And we do. And we do. We do live in paradise. We absolutely do. And it's not just our beautiful surroundings in Alpine either. It's that we bring that portable paradise with us wherever we go. I wanted to close with sharing a prayer from Joel Goldsmith. This is the day the Lord has made. God made the sun to shine today, giving us its light and its warmth. God has provided the rain and the snow in their due seasons. God has regulated the incoming and the outgoing of the tides. God has provided periods for sowing and for reaping, for activity and for rest. God governs this world with infinite wisdom, intelligence, and patience. This day I am God governed. God is the intelligence directing the activity of my day, the still small voice protecting and sustaining me. This is my prayer, that I be God governed, that I never forget to seek God every moment of the day. I pray that I may never forget to thank God for my daily bread, never forget to realize God as the source of all, and that I am never unmindful of the limitless abundance of supply which God expresses through me to all those who come into the range of my consciousness. Feel the fullness of that. God's grace is with me throughout this day, and his presence goes before me and walks beside me. In this presence there is harmony and fulfillment, because where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is freedom from any and every limitation. This is my prayer, that I be God governed, that I never forget to seek God every moment of the day. I pray that I may never forget to thank God for my daily bread, never forget to realize God as the source of all, and that I am never unmindful of the limitless abundance of supply which God expresses through me to all those who come within range of my consciousness. We are all these beautiful, beautiful godlings, expressing in our perfect, unique way. Be grateful, be thankful, be joyous. Feel that freedom of allowing and letting God to express through each and every one of us. Have a beautiful, beautiful day and the rest of your coming week. I love you all. Namaste.